Another one I want to mention from the classic Hollywood era is Sullivan's Travels. We
Yeah.
watched this one together, right?
That's a really good one. Yeah, we did watch it together. Yeah, I think they had just put out a Blu-ray at the time, Criterion did. And so I think you had picked it up and were like, hey, we should watch this. And totally, yeah, I didn't know much about that one at the time and just loved that movie.
This is a movie by Preston Sturges, who I think he's kind of been forgotten now, which is really sad because he was one of the great filmmakers of the classic Hollywood studio era. He was essentially the first writer-director. Like, there were obviously directors who'd worked on their own screenplays before him, but he was the first studio filmmaker to get a written and directed by credit. He essentially invented that credit, which became an essential part of the auteur theory. He made mainly comedies. There were a few like more dramatic films that he made, but he was mostly known for his comedies. He had so much wit and creativity, just created phenomenal characters, wonderful dialogue. He had such an ear for how, individual characters speak and express themselves. His films are very verbose. There's a lot of talking, a lot of very fast talking, and all of it just so clever, so smart, so funny. Sullivan's Travels, I think, is one of his best movies. It's about a movie director, not unlike Preston Sturges himself, known mainly for comedies, who decides at the beginning of the movie that he wants to make a serious drama. He wants to make a film about the suffering of man, which actually, I have to mention, he plans on titling "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?", which I'm sure many of you have seen a Coen Brothers movie called "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?". Yes, they did get the title from this movie. So "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" is now an actual film, very much done in the style of a Preston Sturges movie. But basically, the idea of Sullivan's Travels is this director, he wants to make a serious film about real life, but he's this rich, privileged, successful filmmaker who has never really had to suffer a day in his life. So he decides he's going to go out and experience the real world, learn what it is to suffer, so that he can make this movie. And of course, it doesn't go the way he plans. It actually has a lot of very surprising twists and turns throughout the story. Preston Sturges very famously never worked with structures or outlines. He would just sort of talk the scripts out off the top of his head. He had a secretary that would take everything down. So he would just be talking his way through all of these screenplays and just throwing out all of his ideas as they occurred to him. So they all have these very unusual structures, these very surprising, coincidences and unexpected turns of events. And there's lots of great surprises throughout the story of Sullivan's Travels, and lots of just really great comic set pieces and a really wonderful ending. I like the note that it ends on, that Sullivan sort of realizes that he needs to keep making comedies because the world is so bad. And what's funny is, like, the movie sort of makes an argument against serious art in film, but it does that through a form of artistic expression. Like, it kind of inadvertently makes an argument for itself by making an argument against itself. One of the great ironies of that movie. But it's so wonderful and entertaining and surprising. Not nearly enough people have seen it, so go check it out.